I'm of Samoan background, and not just because I look like it, but my parents are Samoan background. My dad's of Tuvaluan background, and I was born in Samoa, so that represents me as being a Samoan. I consider myself now an Australian, having lived in Australia for 10 years, and now I go to university, and I consider that a part of my identity as well.
I was born and raised in New Zealand. I'm half Cook Island. My dad is born and raised in the Cook Islands, and my mum is just a white New Zealand lady, so I'm half-half. I feel as if New Zealand will always be home, but I absolutely love it in Australia.
I'm very proud of my culture. I am Samoan. I was born there. I moved to Australia in 2006, seeking a better life.
We lived in a small town in Motutua, Samoa, and my parents' goal was to come to a developed country, simply for their kids to go to university and have a brighter future.
Me and my brothers are actually the first to go to uni out of our entire family, so it was also another, I guess, a big opportunity for us and a big accomplishment for our family.
I was working as a fitness trainer, and one of my clients, she has a form of dwarfism, and in order to help her out, I needed to sort of research the condition, and that sort of triggered me to go to uni and study.
I've always had this vision of me being successful and being a businesswoman. My parents at first didn't want me to do that. They wanted me to work straight away and start earning money for my family.
I was hanging around the wrong crowd, so I didn't know where I was or where I was going. And in year 11 and 12 I started getting a little bit serious. I started attending Explore Uni Days, and during that time I witnessed students like myself of Polynesian background going to university and struggling financially, but having the services to ensure their position at university, and that allowed me to get an idea that I was able to go to university.
Being from a Samoan background, back in Samoa they don't really have much of a good education. I guess that's why my parents migrated here, to give us a better opportunity in life, and I guess that's my kind of drive every day when I wake up.
I think university was always on the books for me because my mum was pretty adamant about that, and I think education is pretty important in my life and my family life.
I just really wanted to be a teacher. Like, no one in my family's been to uni, and I don't know, in year 10 I didn't think I would go, but then I was like, I really want to be a teacher, and you can only do that by going to uni.
So we have a very big emphasis on family. Everything we do revolves around family, which has its pros and cons.
There were some cultural routines that I had to sacrifice in terms of coming to university, being with my family in general, which is something we really value as Polynesians, but that sacrifice is something that I'm happy to make if a brighter future is what's ahead.
To be honest, when at the start, I didn't think I was worthy enough to come to make it to uni. Coming into QUT, I was scared. I did face a few challenges, but whenever I doubt myself or have negative energy inside of me, I kind of just think about, there's someone back in Samoa that will kill to be here, and I'm just lucky to be in this position.
Speaking from a Polynesian perspective, financial-wise is a barrier, and also with family and parents not having a clear understanding on university scholarships and so forth. For me as a New Zealand citizen, I pay up front, but there were a lot of scholarships and so forth that I learnt off the Explore Uni Ambassadors that were on the days. So for me, these kids coming through, it's very important for them to understand the services and those who are going to university as Polynesians. And also with the parents attending as well, that can help a lot as well for the Polynesian students to attend university.
You can do it, but it's really hard, especially when you have to pay for it up front like me. It's pretty hard, but you can do it. Because I'm not from a rich family, but somehow I can come to uni. So I get the equity scholarship. I get $1,000 each semester. That goes towards my textbooks and my travel because I live in Caboolture and I study at Kelvin Grove campus.
So just this semester we've created the QUT Pasifika Association. We've realised that there is actually a lot of Pacific Islanders at university at the moment, but there tends to be we come to uni and then we go home. There's no other aspect of it. So what we want to do is bring the cultural element into uni, because as Pacific Islanders we do have a very strong background, and so if we can sort of immerse those two together, I think university life would be a more enjoyable experience. I think everyone obviously will have a different pathway, but if you want to get further in life, I think higher education is definitely the way to go. You may not have to do it straight after high school, you may do it later on in the future, but I still think that higher education is quite important because there's not many things that you can do to help support your family with a minimum level of education. I never thought that I could do it, coming from a financially unstable background, but like I'm here today studying what I want to do and actually being comfortable.
I really hate that there's that stereotype for our culture that we're just gonna not even finish high school and then just go straight into a job or a trade. I really want to let PI students know that they can come to uni and it's cool to be smart.
I think Pacific Islander students, they're quite shy in a way, and seeing role models and people that are just a little bit older than them doing something, they get a lot out of it.
Definitely benefited from seeing student ambassadors, seeing that they came from similar backgrounds as well. So that got the idea that I couldn't afford university out of my mind. So that got me believing that university was possible for myself and for many other students as well.